Hey everybody, I'm Mara Hoover, founder and host of The Mara Show. I'm also the founder of FemPower You and Financial Power You, incredible events that we love to host for women and entrepreneurs all over the country. And today I'm hosting The Mara Show, where I bring to you experts in personal development, business, and relationships. And I'm really excited about the guest that I have on today. Debra Valentina is the founder of Heart Ignited, and she is also a coach with FemPower You. And it's an honor to have her on board. She has such valuable information to share with all of us, and I have absolutely loved working with her. So I'm going to go ahead and read her bio so you can get to know a little bit more about her, and then we'll jump into the interview. All right, Debra Valentina has been a corporate healthcare leader, entrepreneur, executive, and life consultant, and workshop facilitator for 25 years or more. Debra's consulting practice, called Heart Ignited, is grounded by the depth of her real-world experience and highly developed intuition. Debra has successfully coached people from all walks of life to lead fully expressed and joyful lives that make a difference. Debra is currently facilitating workshops on how to live a satisfied and meaningful life based on her book, Heart Ignited, Living a Fully Expressed Life. Among her unique gifts are her ability to encourage others, clarity, and lightheartedness. Welcome to the Mara Show, Debra. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you, and I love whoever did the intro. Yay! That is a summary. I love it.
Yes, we are thrilled to have you, and I have always had such a great time having conversations with you, and I'm so excited to be able to share this with a lot of the people that are listening today, and that will also be able to see the interview later. So I want to jump right in and ask you, currently, what are you doing professionally?
Well, I'm doing actually several things, three of which I'll highlight. One is I'm a coach for both women and men, mostly women, to really empower them to ignite their hearts with what they do and to fully express themselves. The second thing I'm doing is, you mentioned play shops. I don't call them workshops, I call them play shops. And my favorite one right now is igniting your creative and intuitive juices. And so that's a very popular one, and I'd love to do that. I do that about monthly. And then the third thing that I'm doing is actually finishing up my second self-development book. And it's really, well, the name of it is The Heart Ignited Method, Living a Joyful and Meaningful Life. And what I'm doing in that is giving some of my, really my hot tips on the Heart Ignited Method. I'm now ready, after 27 years of coaching, to really bring that out in the world. So I am about nearly done with the book, so it's
Awesome.
going to be published shortly.
Well, congratulations. That's really exciting.
Thank you. It is.
So I know that it's been a great journey for you, really sort of developing all of these skills, and you have a lot of different terms that you talk about, so Heart Ignited and Fully Expressed, and I know that a lot of that comes out of your personal experience. So would you share with us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to this place?
Oh my goodness, that's
I know, well, we could go on forever, but
I could go on forever, but I will actually do the short version of it, and that is that I was a very expressive, curious, and emotional little girl, and which I quite liked. My parents, however, were the truth is were in overwhelm with work, and they had 4 daughters, and it was they were not highly skilled in nurturing that self-expression, is how I look at it, and so often I felt stifled. And so I've been on a really a lifelong journey to to get that full expression fully expressed, and
Got it.
to have and to not be feel stifled in any way. And so often as adults we do things that we either really loved, or we felt like we weren't able to do. And in my case, it's I felt like I was squashed, and now have spent really my whole adult life with this theme of full self-expression. And I'm very passionate about it, empowering that in others, because I know I am not the only one that happened to.
Right. So what would you say full self-expression really looks like?
Um, it looks like whatever you want it to look like.
Love that.
It absolutely does. It's each one of us is very different, and so we all have different intentions, different desires, different hopes, different dreams, and it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it is your true, authentic expression. And sometimes it takes some some deep looking within to figure out, well, what is it that I want to express? Some folks don't know what it is, and one of the tools that I use is to really look deeply to see what are your intentions, what are your desires, because you want to be very clear about what those are, for yourself, as well as I see it, so that you can really co-create with the universe. You can give it to the universe, and the universe can help you. Really, its job is to figure out the how of it. Really, what you need to know is what is my full self-expression, and what are my desires.
Right. So self-expression could be in word. It could be in some sort of physical activity. There's a lot of different ways that we're able to express ourselves. Could be through art or singing. And my experience as I have worked with women is many of us have lost the ability to even ask what it is that we want anymore, because we feel shameful or guilty or selfish about that. And so I just admire so much the work that you do in bringing women back to that space where they can finally figure out, how do I want to really show up, and how do I want to be self-expressed, and show up not only for myself, but for my business, for my family, for my significant other, for my kids, for my friends. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can be self-expressed and show up.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of it. We are all unique, and I love actually what you emphasized in Fem Power You, the live event just a few weeks ago, is that there will never be another Mara on the planet. There will never be another Deb Valentina on the planet. There will never be fill in the blank for those who are listening in the audience, and it is really up to us to know what that is. It's a privilege to know what that is, and to express it in the world, because it is all needed. I promise, it is all needed. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, it's fun to work with women, and I know you do this so often, where you're able to help them get to that space where they can begin to realize how unique they truly are, and honor themselves, and show up and just say, wow, I am the only me on the planet. And I always say, thank God. God in his infinite wisdom knew that the world could only handle one Mara. But with that came my message and the things that I get to share. And the same goes for you, Deb. You have unbelievable and beautiful skills and talents, and a way about you that you teach and empower, especially women, but men as well, to really step into that self-expression.
Yeah. And
So,
I was gonna just add one more thing about that, and that is that particularly with women, women want to serve others and make a difference, and I find
mhm,
that as I've never worked with anyone or met any woman that doesn't want to do that, um, and I believe it's in all people, but my audience is women,
mhm.
and so in order to serve others, there is a unique way in which you can do that, and that's the beauty of finding out what is yours to be expressed, because that's the best service that you can be.
I love that. So you discover what's inside of you to be expressed, and then by doing that, by expressing what's inside of you, you're automatically fulfilling your gift. You're blessing the world. You're showing up for others, and you're giving, which is what, as you say, is inside each and every one of us. That's
Abs
a
abs
beautifully put.
Thank you. And a good summary on your part as
Oh, well,
well.
thank you. Well, since you have been coaching for so many years, what guiding beliefs or principles do you really embrace? So, on top of the idea that each individual has a message that they can be fully self expressed in sharing, what other beliefs or principles do you embrace that really help you to show up for your clients?
Well, the first one, I'd love to share three of them. And
Oh, great.
the first one I've already said, but I'm going to repeat it, and that is to be clear about what you want, about what your intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes we don't know, we don't spend the time gaining clarity about what that is. And I believe, again, our job is the what, and when we release that, so to speak, with the universe, it's the universe's job to really figure out the how of it. Um, and so I always work with clients about what their intentions are, whether it be for our work together or for, you know, their lifelong intentions. Um, so that's the first thing. The second is really to know what you're spending your time on, your time and attention on, and I just find this such an important principle. And my other belief is that really we only have a certain number of what I call attention particles in any given day, any given week or month, and that we need to know where we're using those up, because where
Mm-hmm.
you put your focus and attention is what gets created and what gets manifested. So I've been in a practice for really the last probably 10 years in being really pristine about where I put my time and attention, and not frittering it away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just really believe that's really important, um, uh, and so I emphasize that in terms of knowing where you're spending your time and attention.
Awesome.
And then the third, I really like this. It's my motto or belief about always moving in the direction of what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it reminds me of the game, as I don't know if you or those in the audience remember, you know, when your friends hid an object and then you were to find the object, and they would, if you would move, they would say you're either warmer or cooler until you found the object. And I use this game as an adult, but I use it in a different way, which is really, am I getting warmer or cooler in terms of attaining my desires? Will
Mm-hmm.
this next action, this next step, this next decision move me in the direction of making me happier and having my dreams come true. And so it makes me giggle because I remember being a little kid finding the object, and
Right.
and so are you warmer or you're cooler?
Got it. Well, and that's one of it's a foundational belief that that can be found. And I was actually going to ask you about some of the tools that you use and you found to be useful when you're working with your clients. And I think that would be definitely one of those tools. But are there other tools that you use when you work with your clients that can help them to discover this internal message and full self-expression and really ignite their hearts?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Probably my the tool that I am uh, just most proud of is that I am able to empower people to connect with what I call their knowingness or their intuitive guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that this connection is probably the most important tool. And so everyone has it. Everyone has an inner guidance system. No one,
Mm-hmm.
I've never met anyone that does not have it, and my belief is that everyone does have it. And so when you're quiet and still and centered, it's like a still small voice that will speak to you, and this still small voice always has your highest good at the forefront. So I have found that it never is wrong. So one of the things that I do in my quiet time, which I also recommend for everyone, that 10 to 15 minutes in the morning is ideal, but finding quiet time. And at the end of the quiet time, I do this actually every morning, is to ask my guidance, what are the top 3 things to do today for my highest good? And often I'm surprised at what it
Mm-hmm.
is. So as an example, I might think that I need to write one more chapter in my book today. And my knowingness or my intuitive guidance might say, go for a long leisurely walk on the beach. And and so what I've trained myself to do is to listen to that guidance, even if I'm like, but, but.
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen to it, it's always right. So just this example, so I'm walking on the beach and I get brilliant ideas about what I need to put in my book. So I'm really getting to where I need to go. It's just listening to my guidance versus what I was going to do.
Well, and it also sounds like it's more in alignment with how your brain wants to work that day. If you really trust that you have an inner knowingness and your knowingness says, hey, you're going to get a really great downloaded message if you're quiet enough and reflective enough to get it. And sitting in front of your computer, pulling out your hair, trying to figure out what you're going to type next is probably not the state where all of that inspiration and message is going to come from. And so I can totally see that, being willing to embrace and say, okay, I would much rather get some work done than go get a massage or go for a walk on the beach. But then by the end of it, you've actually arrived at the same exact location. It was just with more flow, ease, and grace, which is what we're all
Ah,
looking for.
absolutely, absolutely, we are. I love it. That is that is exactly what I'm talking about. Is to listen to that inner voice, like I said, which is always right. So I want to share a couple of other tools. Do we have time to do that?
Yeah, we do. Go for it.
Okay, good, good. So one of my other mantras, if you will, or tools is to have is really to make your life as simple and clutter-free as possible. And I often get pushback on this because we, we think we're just full of musts. We, must have, we must do, we must be, and all of those musts does not make a clutter-free or simple life. It makes it actually quite complex and clutter-full. So I always, and I do this for everything I'm sharing with the audience, I do myself and am a lifelong, practice it often. So in order to simplify, you must really examine what's important and what's not so important in your life. And you start to examine what really matters and what doesn't. And you'll start to notice things that you can leave out and that make your life simpler. Another way to say it is simplifying your life requires that you know what your priorities are, which is really important. And then a corollary to this principle is to really have clear space physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so very much harder to do than to say in a sentence. But we have too much. We have too much stuff, too many thoughts, too much emotional baggage. And so purging in all of these categories I actually do on a regular basis. And if I've got something emotional going on, I may go and just clean out a closet to start the purging, and it starts the process. And so cleaning the closet has helped me to process and start to purge the emotional baggage, whatever has come up. So I really believe in the simple and clutter-free life. One of my very favorite tools. And then a third one I'll just share since I have the stage here is to always take exquisite care of yourself. And this I also find is not so easy for women. They are very busy serving others oftentimes, and my total belief is that you must have your own cup full and overflowing before you can serve others and make a difference. And so, oftentimes I hear, well, that's selfish and egotistical and whatever. And I strongly believe that it's not, and it's the only way that you can serve others well. And so exquisite self-care, just like we're all unique beings, exquisite self-care looks different for different people. And so I just want to give a couple of examples in addition to the basics. And so the basic self-care that I see is things like enough sleep, regular exercise, your eating healthily. So those I see as the basics, but the exquisite self-care is going beyond those and going to things like saying no to something that you think you should but don't really want to.
Love it.
Yeah, noticing when you're in the middle of negative self-talk, all of that monkey mind chatter, noticing it, observing it, and just literally stopping it in the middle of a sentence and going to positive self-talk. That is, in my book, exquisite self-care. It can be taking a nap in the middle of the day, taking the long leisurely walk on the beach that I described, or watching the sunset until all the colors have melted into the horizon. So there's many different forms of it, and whatever nurtures you, go for it. That's what I'm talking about. It's unique to you. So
What I love about the tools you just shared were around when you're talking about clutter and getting clutter out of your life. I think a lot of us think of the paper and the clothes in the closet and the stuff that we need to clean out. And I love how you were saying that the clutter is really all of that mind garbage. And part of the exquisite self-care that you're talking about is being willing to clear out all of those musts and shoulds and supposed tos and throw them away and really live your life aligned with what it is that you want to do and what makes you happy and what allows you to get that message of full self-expression out there. And that would be my summary of our conversation, in that all of it weaves together so beautifully. And by taking care of ourselves and really getting clear about what is most important to us and what we can bring and give to the world, that really allows us to be in that place of full self-expression.
Fabulous. I could not have said it better myself.
Well, I am a student of yours, of course. Well, if you were going to share one last thing with the audience before we wrap up and we talk about your free gift that you're offering, what would that be?
I would say, actually, my big theme is 3, so I'm going to say the 3 things that I want to say.
Love it.
So make sure your own tank is filled up and overflowing before you try to serve others, would be my first. And the second was play a game to see how clear you can keep your physical, mental, and emotional space. Just clear that space and keep it as clear as you possibly can on a daily basis. And the third really is to take full responsibility for your life, including your full self-expression, because no one else is going to take responsibility for it, just you.
Wow, those are 3 amazing tips, great takeaways, practical, and I think through our conversation, the listeners will really be able to apply those things. So here at the Mara Show, what we love to do is give things away to our viewers. And so today, Debra has a really special gift that she's going to be giving to everyone who's interested in furthering their conversation with her and learning more about her incredible message and her full self-expression and her work. So, Debra, would you let us know what you're going to be giving away to all of our viewers?
Absolutely, and I'm thrilled to be doing this because I love, if in case it didn't come across, I love people and I love to work with people.
I think that came across.
Oh, good, my total joy. So my gift is a 30-minute phone dialogue with me to get clarity, another big theme of mine, to get clarity on any issue of your choosing. And you can reach me through my website, the contact page, and it's heartignited.com, and that's HEARTIGNITED.com. And just send me a message through the contact page, and we will set it up.
Awesome. Well, that is an incredible gift. If I were to put a value on that, I would say that is worth at least $350 to $400, just that half an hour conversation with you. So I encourage all of our viewers to definitely make sure they take you up on it. And we're going to make it super easy for all of our viewers to get connected to Debra's contact page. So if you navigate, most people are watching this at themarashow.com, but if you're not, maybe you find this on YouTube as a recording, head over to themarashow.com, and right underneath this video there's going to be a button you can click on, and that button will take you directly to Debra's contact page. You're going to be able to sign up right there to reach out to her and get your 30-minute consultation scheduled. So, Debra, thank you so much for joining us. Is there any last thoughts or things you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Just that I am thrilled that we got connected, and I just love talking about this self-expression. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for joining us at The Mara Show. The Mara Show is broadcast live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And here at The Mara Show, we bring you experts in personal development, business, and relationships. I love being able to share my friends, mentors, and incredible people that I meet with you, our viewers. So feel free to subscribe at themarashow.com so you don't miss any of our awesome content. And make sure that you check out our archives from all of the interviews that we've done. Each and every person I interview has an incredible free gift for you, so make sure you take them up on it. Thanks so much for joining us at The Mara Show. Have a great day.